fundamentally, Carmine, I have never met anyone who asks that question who actually knows how much money it is. It's a gut reaction. It's like it's like there's a combination of this sort of internal feeling of injustice, and also why that person has so much. Why aren't they doing the things that are important to me? Why are they doing something else?
And so, actually, they are doing things that are important to you.
But I know, but I think that's the gut reaction that people are responding to. Yeah. And so they just sort of express that as a frustration. But there's a couple ways to look at it. In 2018, there were just under 40 million commercial jet flights, and there were 114 space flights. So if you're looking at cost, if you're looking at greenhouse gases, if you're looking at almost anything, the proportion is just so self-evident. Yeah. And we couldn't measure the world, GPS navigation, weather satellites, internet from space, all that stuff.
Most people don't realize that.
And then the last thing is, you may not directly think of how important inspiration is in what people do, but everybody is inspired by something to pursue anything hard. They got some vision in their head, and that's why they're doing this hard thing. And if you go into the tech world, a huge number of them are inspired by space flight, by space exploration, by what's happened, what's going on, where we're going next. That's what gets them going. And it's not like at SpaceX, Elon stands up in front of everybody and says, I think over the next 5 years, we can make access to space 14% cheaper than it's been prior. He stands up and says, we're going to Mars because we have to become an interplanetary species. And every single bit of work you folks doing, that's where we're headed. And it's the same actual practical thing that's happening, but people really feel like they're part of something bigger and more historic than themselves. And that's the reality, what's happening. I mean, he's effected enormous change in such a short time. And so to me, that's it is vital. And that's part of the reason. You could also, one last little piece, I got to go in 1 minute, but the Soviets hid so much of their space program, and they hardly inspired anybody in the world. The Americans broadcast everything during the whole
real marketing, video and everything.
But they just recognized this is too good not to share. And I think that's where I learned my lessons from. Like, if you're doing something remarkable and interesting and on the edge of human experience, then share it, get it out there, let people see it. It will inspire people that you have no idea even knew that it was going on, so get that out there.
Excellent. That's great. Anyway, that's great, Chris. Chris, I love that. And wasn't it fun to watch William Shatner's reaction when he landed?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to know him, and I've done several things with him, and his gut reaction, the way he spoke for 2 minutes or 3 minutes when he took his 90-year-old body out of that spaceship,
made me cry.
Well, but it made him cry. He's 90, and he thought he understood the world. He thought he was just going for a joyride. He came down and said, I hope I never get over this. And I understand what he meant, so people need to get over the shiny distraction of polarizing billionaires and recognizing, hey, what are we actually doing here? This is pretty amazing.